Under the expansive canopy of ancient trees, the woods were enveloped in shadows that seemed to pulse with the heartbeat of the night. The moon shied away, cloaked by a heavy blanket of clouds, casting a thick veil of darkness upon the campsite. A group of teenagers had pitched their tents in a small clearing, breaking the calm with bursts of laughter and playful banter. They huddled around a crackling fire, the flickering flames dancing in the stillness. The firelight flickered, painting their faces in hues of orange and gold, creating a warm bubble against the encroaching coolness of the woods. "Okay, it's my turn," Emily declared, her eyes wide with excitement. She loved scary stories, relishing the way her friends huddled closer, their expressions drawn tight in anticipation. "Tell us about the man with no face," Jake interjected eagerly, his voice dripping with mock terror. The others shivered, some of them exchanging nervous glances as the legend of the faceless man echoed in their memories. Emily smirked, leaning closer to the fire, the shadows deepening around her. "All right, gather round," she began, her voice lowered to a conspiratorial whisper. "There's a tale about a traveler who got lost in these very woods decades ago. He wandered too far, separated from his friends, and found himself in a never-ending maze of trees. As night fell, he came across an old, forgotten path. With his long, gaunt face and deep-set eyes, the man was a mystery. Everyone who encountered him claimed he had no face. Just blank skin where features should be," Emily continued, watching her audience shiver. Those who looked into his eyes were said to lose their sanity, drawn into a madness they couldn't escape. They could feel him watching, even when he was nowhere to be found. "Sounds like something straight out of a horror movie," Lisa whispered, clutching her jacket tightly. "Yeah, but don't you think it's real?" Emily pressed, her voice thick with anticipation. "People go missing in these woods all the time. Boys found their way back, but when they did, they looked different. Hollowed. As if they had met the man with no face." The group fell silent, each lost in their thoughts, the fire crackling harmoniously with the rhythm of their quickened pulses. Suddenly, the rustle of leaves broke through the quiet, sending a chill through them. Everyone turned, eyes wide, scanning the darkness beyond the reach of the firelight. "Just the wind," Jake muttered nervously, attempting to dismiss the growing dread that clung to them. "Let's just finish the story," Marcus suggested, trying to lighten the mood. "What happened to the traveler?" Emily hesitated, her heart racing. "Nobody knows," she said finally, her voice taut. "Some say he became part of the woods, forever wandering between the trees, searching for faces to replace the one he lost. Others say he still lurks here, waiting for the next group of campers who dare to tell his tale." As if answering her words, a low crack echoed through the woods. A twig snapped, breaking the spell of silence, deepening their unease. The fire sputtered, shadows darting like phantoms across the ground. "Okay, enough stories," Lisa exclaimed, looking pointedly into the dark, where no eyes stared back. The group tried to shake off the feeling of unease. They chatted about everything else, their last day of school, summer plans, and what was supposed to be a fun camping trip. But with every laugh, the woods seemed to swallow their sounds, leaving an oppressive hush in its wake. Later that night, as the fire dwindled to embers, one by one, they retreated to their tents, cocooned in sleeping bags and blankets. The night air hung thick with anticipation, as if the woods themselves were holding their breath. Around midnight, a soft whisper broke through the stillness, a distant rustling that wasn't the wind, a soft padding of footsteps. Jake awoke, startled. He unzipped his tent and peeked outside, curiosity battling with fear. The moon had finally emerged, casting a ghostly glow that illuminated the clearing. That's when he saw it, a silhouette standing at the edge of the woods, a figure with a long face and deep-set eyes, staring into the camp with an unsettling stillness. But its most haunting feature was the void where its face should have been, a manifestation of terror without form. Jake's heart raced. He blinked, hoping it was a trick of the light. He rubbed his eyes, focused, then recoiled in horror as the figure began to move, gliding silently between the trees, drawing closer to their campsite. "Guys!" Jake's voice cracked, barely rising above a whisper. He rushed back into the tent, shaking his friends awake with fevered urgency. "Wake up! There's someone out there. Something. The laughter from earlier evaporated. They scrambled together, forming a tight circle at the center of the tent, eyes wide with fear. The figure loomed nearer, the air thickening with an unshakable sense of dread. In that suffocating silence, the realization hit them. They were not alone. Not here. Not in the woods where legends breathed. And suddenly, the tales took on a weight they could no longer disregard. The man with no face had awakened. As the darkness enveloped them, the heat of the fire faded, and all that remained was their frantic breathing, the tension of the night echoing the stories they had dismissed. In the heart of the woods, confronted by the shadow of their fear, they knew they would never be the same again.